recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivia Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivia Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as the Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
No. Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out of me. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivia Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and I am joined today by Carmela Smith. Hey, Carmela.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I see the bed is still here.
Yeah, you still haven't moved it.
Me? I thought you were going to move it.
It's not my bed. What do you mean? All right, I'm leaving.
Well, take your bed with you.
It's not my bed.
Oh, anyway.
However, your blanket does look like my shower curtain.
See? I think you mean your blanket. So yeah, we do have a bed in the room. Don't ask why.
You're still making this worse.
I enjoy this joke tremendously. And it's my last chance because the bed will be gone after you take it home.
It's not my bed.
So we're joined today by an awesome crew of guests. We have Madeleine Garvey. Hello, Madeleine.
Hi.
Welcome. We have Susie Becker. Hello, Susie.
Hello.
Hello. We have Mr. Trey Thomas. Hello, Trey.
Hello.
And we have Paul Paquet. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Jonathan. Good to be back.
Oh, man, we have a fantastic group today. So I want to get to know them a little bit better. Trey, you've been on before. Why don't we start with you? Remind everybody where you're from, what you do, and tell us something fun about yourself. And the fun thing cannot be about the octopodes ahead moment, because that indelibly burned into my mind one of those moments there.
Did you have to remind me of that?
Oh, that was the most amazing
right before
thing.
I play.
The flags on the pirate ship indicated octopodes ahead. Octopi, whatever.
It's octopi. Get it right. My name's Trey, and I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm a software developer for a local bond trading firm. Something interesting about me, well, if you remember the last time I was on, I said that we were expecting a baby boy. Yes. We now have a nearly 4-month-old baby boy.
Yay!
Yay!
How is little Jonathan doing?
Jonathan, I hate to break it to you, but his name's not Jonathan.
Really?
Sorry.
Oh, gee.
It's Chris.
Oh, that would be the worst. Oh, that would be horrible. Okay, what is this little bundle of joy's name?
His name is Robert Henry.
Robert Henry. Oh, you named him after my brother. Well, that's nice. Guess that's acceptable. Will you call him Bob?
Nope. We actually my father-in-law is named Robert. That's who he's named after, and we call him Bob. So we're calling our son Robbie.
Love it. That's really cool.
That's
I'm
what
really
I call
happy
my
for
sister.
you.
Her name's Robin.
Nice.
There you go.
Love it. Well, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you.
Madeleine Garvey, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and tell us something fun about yourself.
I am from Champaign, Illinois, so where the University of Illinois is, and I work there. I'm a faculty assistant for a bunch of people in the computer science department, so I work with a lot of programmers, basically.
Nothing wrong with that. Programmers are people, too.
I was the most worried about the something fun about myself tidbit, because I can't think of anything.
Oh, well, what kind of books do you like?
Well, okay, I was going to say that this podcast basically inspired me to start doing pub trivia, because I thought, it's going to be too hard. And I started listening to you guys, and I was like, I could probably survive, because I can survive about half of this, the questions asked on this podcast. So Thank you for that.
Well, I think it's
Welcome.
fabulous.
That's awesome. You probably play more pub trivia than I do because I don't play it much.
That's right. I bet if we invited you, you would actually come.
Look, it just hasn't worked out lately.
All right, Susie Becker, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Hi, Jonathan. So I live in San Rafael, California, just north of San Francisco, and I am a public school teacher. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade English language arts. So I've been at my school about 13 years, and I'll tell you something fun about the school. Do you all remember The Godfather Part 1?
Sure.
Yeah.
The movie, and there's a scene where Diane Keaton is a school teacher and she's standing out in front of her school.
Okay.
So that is my school. They filmed that there right outside of the kindergarten playground.
Wow.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah, kind of neat. And I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And last but not least, Paul Paquet. Paul, remind everybody where you're from, what you do, and tell us something fun about yourself, my friend.
Hey there. So I am in Ottawa, Ontario, the nation's capital, and I do trivia full time, which is a pretty awesome kind of a job. And like a lot of self-employed people, I was realizing that I was spending way too much time at work. And since all I was doing was trivia or screens, or looking at screens, I took up some acting classes. It turns out I have a bit of a knack for it, so I'm hoping to audition for some shows here in Ottawa.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man, how much fun is that going to be?
It's a lot of fun. I've had, for some reason, my classes, I always got roles where I had to be really angry men, and that was a lot of fun to just scream at people because I don't get to do that very much.
Oh, wow.
You know what? That makes me want to act.
Would you expect that out of Quiet Paul there?
No, and I think that's a fantastic way to kind of push energy out that you hold back anyway, but to be able to release it in a positive, constructive way, I think that's a really cool thing.
I've actually strongly considered taking improv classes.
I have too. We should do it together.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Would you like to do that together?
Sure. We
That'd be super fun.
Because I would like to get over my public speaking fear. That'd be nice. So
We can do, because I'm not even kidding. I'm super interested.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. I'm happy. Okay. Well, guess what?
What's up?
We're going to do something new.
What are we going to do?
It's called Warm It Up, Chris.
Oh, that's super new.
Oh, I know. It's so good.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TW208, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
Okay. I'm going to pull up our Warm It Up, Chris question.
A warm it up Chris where there's no Chris in the room.
Poor Chris. Chris is having a good time, though.
Yes, Chris is at a gaming convention that his uncle runs here locally in Jacksonville. So we miss him. Actually, that's where Ben is, too.
Yeah, they both dissed us. So
but they're having a great time.
Oh, they are. It's called RapierCon. It is something
run
that
by the
happens
Jacksonville
every
Garrison.
year. And if you love board games and you'd like to hang out with Chris, make sure to book tickets for Jacksonville next February, because they'll be doing it again. All right. So this is a Canadian slanted Warm It Up, Chris.
Oh.
Awesome.
I know. Isn't that cool? So this is from Jackie LaFave. Jackie's last name is spelled different than it's pronounced. And so
Very
It's spelled like Lafarve.
R in it, yeah.
Lefebvre. Yeah, no. So I asked her when I read her name on our Warhead list, I was like, please tell me how to pronounce your name. So she did. It's LaFave.
Cool.
So she's my LaFavorite.
Oh.
You see?
Aw.
All right. So Jackie says, shout out from Canada.
Yay.
Gander, Newfoundland, became known from the numerous planes filled with passengers that landed and remained grounded for several days on September 11, 2001. Gander is not too unusual of a name, but Newfoundland and Labrador have some very uniquely named communities or bodies of water. So, she wants to know which are real Newfoundland Labrador names and which are made up.
Okay.
So I should say I lived in Newfoundland for about 3 years.
Oh, well, if you get one wrong, it's going to
I
be
know.
amazing.
So is it the whales of Canada? Is that what it is? Where it just has weird names?
It's this because it wasn't part of Canada until the whole 50s, so it's a very different place.
Gotcha.
It's got its own vibe, its own mood, its own culture, very different.
It was back then. It was Newfoundland. Now, I mean, they're going to change it someday. It's going to be Funland.
Funland,
Yeah.
because they found the land.
Yeah, it's not new anymore.
We just saw Come From Away, the musical about it.
Oh.
So hopefully
Maybe that'll help.
that'll help.
So there's a ton. Jackie did a lot of work here. There's a ton here. I'm going to kind of pick and choose as we go, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's start with, actually, we'll start with Paul. I'll go clockwise like that, come over to you, and then back to Paul.
Okay.
Okay. Paul, we will start with pencil point.
I don't pencil point as you write it with.
Pencil
I don't recall a pencil point, so I'll say no.
You are correct. That is a made-up place. Susie,
Yes.
you get Conception Bay.
Real.
It is real. Oh.
Excellent.
And not only is it real, my mother's from there.
Oh, wow.
Was she in fact conceived there?
Conception Bay.
Oh, wow. Well, now we know how it got its name.
I
I didn't know your mother was that influential. I got to be careful with mama jokes, though, so I don't go too far with this. Madeleine, you get Furby's Cove.
That sounds too weird to be made up. I'm going to say it's real.
It is too weird to be made up. It's real. Furby's Cove is a real place.
I'm a little nervous about this because all my in-laws are Canadian, so if I get anything wrong, would it be embarrassed?
Oh, don't feel bad. We all miss stuff. All right, Trey, you get Couches Cuddles.
Couches Cuddles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like fun. I'm going to say that's made up.
It is made up. Wow. So they all just did
Nice.
awesome, Carmela.
Yeah.
Your turn. Bacon Cove.
Trying to tap into my secret Canadian girlfriend and see if she can give me my answer.
What's her name?
Her name's Stacy. Stacy McPeak.
I thought we were talking about like a fictional.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I didn't realize we were talking about a real person.
nah, it's the joke is that Stacy's my Canadian girlfriend.
Aww.
But I'm going to say that's real.
It is real.
Woohoo!
Oh man, you guys are good at this. Paul, Come By Chance.
That is very real.
It is real. It's almost like he knows.
It's almost like he lived there.
I know. Susie, you get Gremlins Falls.
I'm going to say not real.
Gremlins Falls is false. It's not real.
Woo!
Nobody's missed one yet. I'm starting to worry.
They should have gotten the last set that we did.
Yeah, I know, right? Madeleine, you get Gentleman's Purse.
Oh. I feel like I've heard of something similar to that, but I'm not sure if it's that one. I'm kind of looking at Paul to see if he's giving anything away.
Oh, she is smart.
I'm going to say it's not real.
Gentleman's Purse is false. It's not real. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, geez.
Well, isn't that a kick in the gentleman's purse?
Well, that'll go really well with this. Trey, you get dildo.
Don't say that sentence very often, do you?
Nope.
I think that has to be real. To actually name something that, it's got to be real.
It is real. Dildo Newfoundland.
So it turns out that it refers to something on a ship. I'm not sure what exactly, but it's some sort of nautical term.
Sure it does.
And that's all it is.
Is it
Just
close
a
to
nautical
Conception Cove or is it far away?
There are a lot of sexually charged Newfoundland names, by the way.
We're finding this out.
I'm going to tell you a secret. Dildos really don't help with conception.
Well, see, I'm aware. I'm aware. But thank you for explaining that to the listeners.
You're welcome.
Speaking about dildos,
Okay.
Jonathan's Pond Provincial Park.
Oh, would you give this to me because it's real and you want to feel good about yourself? Or would you give it to me because it's false and you want to trick me and then feel good about yourself? I'm going to say it's real.
It's real. Has nobody missed one yet for real?
No.
Holy mackerel. All right.
Holy wahoo.
Yeah, right. All right, Paul. You get Black Tickle.
Oh, I have a feeling it's real, but I haven't heard of it. I don't recall it, so I'm going to say it's false.
It is real. It is in Labrador. The person who lived there is the first person to miss one.
He lived in Newfoundland.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough.
So it goes.
That's all right.
All right, Susie, you get contraception corner.
I see a theme here. Okay. I'm going with not real.
It is fake. Good job. All right, Madeleine, let me go down here. You get Corker's Hole.
Corker's hole?
Corker's Hole.
I have no idea. I'm just going to say false.
Corker's Hole is false.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. Trey, Pregnant Hollow.
Pregnant Hollow. I'm going to go with real.
It is false.
Aww.
Not real. No such thing. Carmela,
Yep.
you get Carmela's Crest.
Aw, I want that to be real. I want my own crest. Is it spelled the same?
Carmela.
It is
Crest.
spelled the same. Aw, it's probably not real then. Real.
False.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. No. Jackie got you.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, they spelled it with one L. It's no way it can be real, but I'm going to try.
It's like, I wanted to be real so bad.
What a dirty trick.
All right, we're going to go one more time around. Paul, you get Kitty Vitty.
Very true. Spelled with Q's.
Kitty Vitty is a real place. Quidividi. Kitty Vitty. Susie,
Yep.
you get Lord Tunderin.
Oh, Paul is laughing. Lord Tunderin. Sure, that's real.
It is not real.
Oh.
Not real. Now,
It's funny
Paul.
because usually Lord Tundra is followed by an expletive of some kind.
Oh, what's the
See.
joke there?
Lord Tundran F word or something.
But why Lord Tunderin?
I don't know.
It doesn't have
Newfoundland's its own
anything to
thing,
do with
man.
thunder. It's like, I have Lord Thunder here.
Well, there is Thunder Bay in Ontario.
Exactly.
As we found out last episode.
All right. Madeleine, your last one. You get Grandma's Pie.
Oh, jeez.
I wouldn't mind Grandma's Pie.
Sounds
yummy.
good. I'm going to say it's real because I want it to be.
It's not real. No, it's fake.
Aw.
Completely made up. All right, Trey, your last one. You get, where'd it go? Morning After.
Is there a walk of shame on there?
Oh, man. I wish there was. I wish there was.
Morning After. Please tell me that's not real.
It's not real. It
Thank
is
you.
not real. All right, Carmela, we're going to finish it off with Spread Eagle.
Real.
Spread Eagle is real. Yes. All right, that is your Warm It Up Chris question of the episode. You guys did really, really well.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
There was a long run of correct answers there. All right, so we're going to do something special on today's show.
Yes.
Before we get into the game, Paul wants to make an announcement regarding the Trivia Hall of Fame, so I'm actually going to turn it over to you, Paul. So please take the floor, my friend.
So you guys are hearing this for the first time. It's the big reveal. Our committee put forward 6 nominations for achievements in or contributions to the world of trivia and quizzing. You can vote for 3 of them at triviahalloffame.com. The top 3 vote getters will be officially elected at Trivia Nationals in Vegas in August. So first up, the founders of Geeks Who Drink, John Dicker and Joel Peach. Second, we have game show hosts in, but we've never managed to induct Regis Philbin, so he's on the ballot this year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know as a member of the committee, I can't tell the listeners of Trivia Warfare to go online and vote for Regis Philbin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't
You
tell
can't
them
tell
to do
them
that.
I can't do that.
That
would
was
be
actually
wrong.
the major part of my my trivia knowledge as a youth was watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Regis Philbin.
Really?
Yeah.
So you grew up in multiple choice land.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a game changer for sure. Kevin Ashman is probably the Pele of international trivia. He's arguably the greatest trivia player alive, maybe the greatest ever.
Wow.
Also a staple. Yeah, he's phenomenal, and he's a staple of British TV shows. Speaking of which, we've got Anne Hegarty, who is the governess from The Chase on a British TV show. Yeah, actually, I've met her a couple times. She's a really nice person. Our fifth one, this might be more if you're from the western half of the country or older, but a guy named L.M. Boyd wrote a column as Mike Mailway for like 40 years, and that was a big deal.
Cool.
Yeah, so that leaves one more. And for the first time, we've nominated a podcaster, and not just a podcaster, but also created an online community of fellow oddballs. Our sixth nominee, in alphabetical order, Chris Hollister, Jonathan Oakes, Carmela Smith, and Ben Young.
Oh my God.
Bravo. Excellent.
Is that what I didn't expect to hear that.
I didn't either. Because I've seen some of those people inducted into the Hall of Fame, like, Thorstead and Ken Jennings, and I don't feel like I belong there.
No. Well, then, you know what? I can't tell anybody to go out and vote for anybody, right? But if you want to make Carmela feel like she belongs, then you know what you would have to do. Paul, that's a surprise, for real. We didn't talk about that.
Thank you.
That's incredible.
Yep, that's why I was trying not to give too much away emailing you, but I wanted to make sure. So you can go to triviahalloffame.com and vote for any three of those you happen to like. Congratulations, guys.
Wow.
That's amazing.
What a fabulous honor that is.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
And we're actually going to be at Trivia Nationals. So
you're darn right we will be. Well, man, that's exciting. I'm flustered. I'm flustered.
More allowed to campaign, FYI.
I don't. What did you say?
You are allowed to campaign if you want to.
Oh, we are. Well, Paul can't tell you to vote, but my God, I can certainly tell you to vote.
Maybe cry.
Oh. So, if you want to see all of us cry on stage, I think you know what you have to do. TriviaHallOfFame.com. Go vote for the people that you think should be in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. Thank you, Paul.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you. And thanks to the rest of the committee, too.
Absolutely. Wow. We have to move on from this, Carmela. We have to move on. I'm feeling like I just want to sit here and bask in it for a second.
Let's move on.
Carmela doesn't like feeling emotions, guys. I
really don't.
No, I know.
I'm not good at it.
No.
I just, no. Don't make me feel things.
All right, so it is time to get in today's game. So today's game is Carmela and Jonathan versus Madeleine, Susie, and Trey. Paul is hosting. And it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
All right, so speaking of Vegas, every year I take the best questions from the Ottawa Trivia League and I bring them to Vegas for Trivia Nationals for an event called Smarty Pants. What I've done is I've taken some of the most fun questions from last year's Smarty Pants for our game here. The exception is the first question, which I've written especially for you guys, and I mean that literally. Round 1, question 1. Ben, a hit, murdered. Ben was a hit song from Michael Jackson. What actor from the Back to the Future movies murdered that hit when he covered it for the remake of Willard?
Oh, you know this guy's name. Yeah, we're locked in.
I hope one of you has something.
I was thinking Trey would take the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw on the Skype chat earlier that this is going to be pop culture heavy. I am a pop culture lightweight. So
no, sorry.
I'm usually pretty good at it, but I got
we need to name anyone from the Back to the Future remake, right?
Movies. Back to the Future
movies.
The movies.
Michael J. Fox.
What was the other character, the Jim Ignatowski fellow?
I'm going to tell you
The
right
wild
now.
hair.
I've never seen Back to the Future.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're better than. I mean, they're really good. They're good.
I know. I actually have like a long list of things I need to watch, and it's
you
on
and me
there.
both.
Just haven't got- Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to watch some Oscar-nominated movies.
I'm not judging you at all.
Paul, I think we need a slower pitch softball.
If that key ball might work.
Yes.
This isn't really a softball. This is more just. I wanted to do Ben a hit murdered for a while now, so.
I like it.
I honestly thought he was going to give the lyrics to Weird Al's Yoda. Because of the grammar, Ben, a hit murdered is the way Yoda would say Ben murders a hit.
Right.
So I thought it was going to be Yoda by Weird Al Yankovic.
I would have been much happier with
Yeah.
that. Well, I have absolutely nothing. So we could just
Okay.
throw out Michael J. Fox and be done with it.
I'd be happy with that.
All right.
You guys going to lock that in?
Sure.
Okay. Carmela?
I personally think this guy is visually interesting to look at. He currently plays Mr. World on American Gods. I said Crispin Glover. Plays
He plays Michael J. Fox's dad.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was-
Why?
So Willard is about rats.
Mhm.
He was the rat guy, and Ben is a movie apparently about a rat.
You guys are 100% right. The person who covered the song Ben is Crispin Glover.
I think if I had thought about the fact that Crispin Glover kind of looks like a rat, I might have gotten there.
So there you go.
Like I said, I find him visually interesting to look at.
Yeah.
I don't
Looks a
disagree.
little bit like.
Like you're not I wouldn't say attractive, but I can't stop looking at you.
Visually striking.
Yes.
Was he a Willy Wonka somewhere along the line?
Not new.
I feel
not
like I
the
see
Gene
him in a
Wilder one.
purple suit and a top hat and something, and I can't think of what it was.
Well, that was Johnny Depp.
Oh, it is. Oh, you're right. I'm seeing Johnny Depp's Willy Wonka and thinking it looks like Crispin Glover.
Yeah, well.
It's not far. It's not far. Okay. All right. Question 2.
Category question 2, 70s TV characters. What 70s TV character seemed to have a psychic power called technopathy, although his ability to water ski over dangerous cartilaginous fish now foretells doom?
I got it.
Yes.
So we are locked in.
Do you guys?
Water skiing over the cartilaginous fish. So jumping the shark like
Yeah.
The Fonz in Happy Days?
I think that technopathy is when he punches the jukebox or whatever he does. So
Oh, isn't that
Yeah.
clever?
I think it's probably the Fonz.
The Fonz.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, my middle initial is A.
Oh, my God.
We said Fonzie.
I thought you were about to say my middle name is Fonzarelli.
It is an Italian
It's
middle
very
name,
Italian.
but it's not Fonzarelli.
So as you guys figured out, technopathy is him banging the jukebox. Jumping over the cartilaginous fish is jumping the shark. It is Arthur Fonzarelli or the Fonz.
Nice.
We're on the board.
Yay.
Question 3, collectors. What movie's main character finds some VHS tapes, threatening papers from a divorce lawyer, figure skates, a dress, a birthday present from Grandpa that he grew to be really fond of, and a package that is never opened?
Is this a question or just an oddball string of words that you put together?
And I can, if you're all absolutely stumped, I can add some clarity to one of those items.
Carmela, are you really stumped, or do you feel like we have something to work with here? I don't know. I am a bit lost at the moment. What do you guys think? Do you want to keep it as is, or do you want him to add a clue?
I wouldn't say no to a clue.
The birthday present was a volleyball.
Okay.
We're locked in.
What's the movie with Tom Hanks where he's stranded and he's got Wilson the volleyball and he uses the figure skate to knock out his bad tooth? It's one word and it's like
Castaway.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Because he's in a FedEx plane, so I would have all that stuff in it.
It.
I think we're going to lock in with Castaway.
Mm-hmm.
So when the question was first asked, I thought we were talking about like a detective or somebody who finding things. It didn't, even after he gave the volleyball clue, my mind was still going in that direction. So I'm glad that you picked up on that it could be something completely different here. So what did we put, Carmela?
But Castaway.
Nice.
Well, first I was like, "What?" I thought you were asking for the guy's name. I was like, "What's Tom Hanks' character's name in Castaway?"
And I'm like, character played by Tom Hanks.
It's actually just Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he just plays Tom Hanks.
It's Hank Toms.
But the movie where Tom Hanks finds all that stuff is Castaway,
All right.
including Wilson the volleyball.
Yep.
At the end of the first round, Jonathan and Carmela have 30. Madeleine, Susie, and Trey have 20. You are already doing significantly better than I did in the last game. Well done. All right, that is the end of the first round. Before we go on to the second round, I want to tell you that today's show is sponsored by HelloFresh. You guys know what HelloFresh is. It is America's #1 meal kit delivery service. HelloFresh makes conquering the kitchen a reality in 2019. They give you deliciously simple recipes. And, you know, I'm here with my man, Ben Young. Hey, Ben.
Hey, man.
So when I say deliciously simple recipes, can you give people an idea of what I'm talking about here?
When you are a working person, you know, I work full-time, my wife works full-time, and, you know, picking up the kids from daycare, you come home, you're beat from work. You don't feel like cooking.
Oh.
You don't feel like pulling out all those ingredients and pots and
measuring
pans
and
all
chopping
that crap.
and
Man, I'm telling you, when you pull out those HelloFresh kits, everything's already bagged for you. It's very easy for you to lay everything out. And it's like 30 minutes max from the time that I start prepping to the time that the food is ready. And that is a huge lifesaver for us because it really frees up the rest of our evening. And it really makes the cooking experience more enjoyable because we don't have to worry as much about the prep time.
I tell you, it is. You said it was a lifesaver. I think that's exactly right. One of the great things about HelloFresh, and Sebastian's here with us too. Say hey, Sebastian.
Hey.
One of the great things about HelloFresh is it gets you out of the rut of boring cooking. It takes you out of your comfort zone and helps you to discover new things. So, Sebastian, the other day I made us some spaghetti from HelloFresh, right?
Yeah.
Did we not have the best zucchini chopped up in our spaghetti with Italian sauce in it?
It was so delicious.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
If my 6-year-old likes HelloFresh when it's sticking zucchini in its spaghetti, you know you've got a winner. And not only is it good, but it's affordable too. HelloFresh is now from $6.99 per serving. That's better than most restaurants, folks. You can get started with 6 free meals. That's 2 free meals in each of your first 3 boxes. Go to HelloFresh.com and enter promo code TWA60 for $60 off. That's right. You can get 6 free meals. That is 2 meals in each of your first 3 boxes for free. Go to HelloFresh.com. Use the promo code TWA60 for a total of $60 off. All right. Let's get on to round 2.
All right. Question 4. Who arrived in Paris at 10:22 p.m. on May 21st, 1927?
Oh, you know what? By the way, Paul, do you have category names for these questions, or are they?
Shoot, I forgot about that. Yes. So this one will be arrivals. Sorry about that.
Arrivals. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're locked in.
1927 is between the wars.
Yeah.
And it's a very incredibly specific time. 10:22 p.m. Paris. Madeleine, what were you thinking?
My only guess at all is like the Mona Lisa, because they would be tracking. I don't know, because she's in Paris. But that was it. Who?
Well, I like what you're thinking because she's certainly famous in Paris at the Louvre. I don't know when they acquired that painting.
Yeah.
I like the logic.
Yeah. I mean, is it a military person, government person, a a famous movie star, some other famous Parisian.
These are really obtuse questions.
Oh.
I like Mona Lisa a lot.
Okay.
I think that's very good.
Yeah, I think go with that.
Okay. We're going to lock in with Mona Lisa, I guess.
I actually really like their answer.
I like mine better.
I know you do. But I think that is a really clever answer.
Oh, for sure. The fact that we had time on here, though, time and arrival are both similar to something you would think of at an airport.
Right.
And so the year is really close, if not perfect, for Charles Lindbergh. So we said...
It finally convinced me because I remembered that Charles Lindbergh was the first Time Magazine Man of the Year, and it would have been around this time frame.
Yep. So we said Charles Lindbergh.
That's a better answer.
Yeah. Arrived at Paris, 10:22 p.m., May 21st, 1927. Charles Lindbergh.
Yes.
Yep.
Very nice.
Thank you.
We had an excellent wrong answer.
Agreed.
No, I thought that was a great answer.
You did.
If that was the right answer, that would have been awesome.
No, it would not have been awesome. It would have sucked. It would have sucked bad, Carmela.
Well, for us, but it still would have been nice. God, Jonathan, not everything is about you. You're so vain.
Oh, whatever.
You're so
Do you think this show is about you?
Yeah, Jonathan, do you think this show is about you?
Maybe.
Anyway, continue, Mr. Paquet.
Who built a wall along England's entire border, although he never managed to get Scotland to pay for it? The bit about Scotland's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, we're locked in.
I'm pretty sure he's talking about Hadrian's Wall.
Yeah, Emperor Hadrian. Locked in.
Locked in with Hadrian.
All right, they locked in.
Man, Addie, why wouldn't you pay for this wall?
I know, seriously. Come on, Scotland.
We also said Hadrian.
Built a wall along England's entire border is Hadrian.
Nice.
Hey.
Next category, the zombie apocalypse.
All right, Carmela.
Mathematicians at the Federal University of Juiz de Fora in Brazil say that for a country to survive the zombie apocalypse, it needs to have 47 soldiers for every 1,000 people. Only one country does this. So the fact that it is already so isolated from the rest of the world is just apocalypse prevention gravy. What is the country?
I think it's that. All right. Jonathan expressed some slight amount of Lord Tunderin, and we're locked in.
So we're looking for a country that is isolated and probably on the small side.
Yeah.
47. So strong military, 47 soldiers per 1,000 people of population.
Yeah, probably compulsory military service, I would think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Mm-hmm.
Isolated enough.
My first thought with isolation is always Madagascar, but I'm not like that as an answer.
Yeah. I mean, someone like Australia or New Zealand.
Certainly isolated, but I don't know about the large military.
Right.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't have a toehold on this at all.
If it makes you feel better, I locked in with a good amount of confidence, and then Carmela just wrote what is clearly the right answer on my paper after the fact.
Shook him.
I see. Well, maybe it's not geographically isolated. Maybe it's isolated, for political reasons.
Yeah.
So something like North Korea.
Yeah.
Maybe. The thing I would say to that is politically isolated is not going to matter when the zombie apocalypse comes. The zombies aren't political.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I do like that answer.
Yeah.
Now I've got North Korea stuck in my head because that's such a good answer, except for the it's not geographically isolated.
I don't have any strong feelings towards anything.
Do you want to go with one of Australia or New Zealand or Madagascar?
New Zealand sounds fine to me.
That's fine.
Okay.
Are you locking in with New Zealand?
Yes.
Okay. So, Carmela.
Yeah.
I was convinced we're talking about Israel.
Yeah.
And the reason
you managed to convince me.
The reason I'm convinced of this is they do have compulsory service. Like I know both male and female are part of their service. We have actresses and actors that are Israeli who are noted members of their military, including Gal Gadot. Wonder Woman herself is part of the Israeli military. And I also do believe they're kind of isolated. I know that in the 6 Days War, many nations around the area tried to invade and failed because of the geography of the region. And so I felt really good about that.
And I've read several different works of zombie fiction, but World War Z is my favorite one. And Max Brooks was pretty obsessive about his research, and Israel does manage to cut itself off from the world and survive.
Yeah.
So
we felt good.
So we felt good about Israel. And then I was sitting there thinking about other countries in that book that managed to cut themselves off and survive. And North Korea was one of them. They went underground. And there actually is some physical barrier as far as the 38th parallel. There's still mines all over
mountains,
the place.
So many mountains. It's a very harsh terrain.
Yeah.
No, North Korea, as soon as you wrote it down, I was like, yep, that's going to be right. They're not going to let any refugees in. They're not going to let anybody in.
Yeah.
Everybody's part of the military, and it is cold, it is high, and it's the right answer.
Yeah, but we went with Israel.
The safest place to be in the zombie apocalypse is North Korea.
I knew as soon as I thought about it. I'm like, that's it.
I actually thought about World War Z, and I just put it out of my mind because I thought I was being a little silly.
Max Brooks is my authority about zombies.
By the way, I cut a question about World War Z that we can do just for fun if you want.
Sure.
This is not part. I ended up cutting it, but in World War Z, or World War Z, as I would say, I played a WHO doctor, which in a weird way may have prefigured the role I play from 2014 to 2017 on the BBC. Who would I be?
Is this a Doctor Who question?
Yeah, it is.
Who is it? Is it Cumberbatch? No, he didn't do Doctor Who.
No, it's Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi, yeah.
All right. After the second round, score is 50-30. Carmela and Jonathan are maintaining their lead.
Round 3, category 1. What other Disney title character is the first cousin once removed of Hercules? So what other Disney title character is the first cousin once removed of Hercules?
Oh.
All right, we're locked in. Oh, man. Carmela's so good. I really enjoy playing with her.
What would you do without me?
I mean, plenty, but I still enjoy playing with you.
Well, you might get your ass handed to you in a bucket again.
Oh, hey. That's only because you were asking the questions.
All right, I think Madeleine's taking up the baton for us.
Yeah, I was trying to draw a little family tree for myself, but I'm not going to do that. I'm pretty sure Poseidon is related to Triton somehow, so then his daughter, the Little Mermaid, would be related to Hercules, and Poseidon's Zeus's brother. So I think that's where he's going with it. Are you guys okay with that?
I think so. I think that works.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, nice logic.
So, Little Mermaid.
All right. So I was asking Carmela how for once removed works, and she said, okay, if you have a dad and their uncle, and the uncle's kid is the cousin, and then that kid's kid is the cousin once removed. And so I was like, okay, well, Zeus is dad for Hercules. Brothers are Hades and Poseidon. And Triton is, I was trying to name Poseidon's kids, and I said Triton first, and before I could name any others, she's like, oh, it's Ariel. So we said The Little Mermaid.
Your logic is impeccable. Madeleine and Jonathan are both exactly right. It is
Carmela
Ariel or
me.
Little Mermaid.
Definitely Carmela more than me.
Sorry, Carmela. Just that Jonathan was doing all the talking, so I got distracted.
Bravo.
Yay.
Really well done.
Yeah, very well done. Well thought through. Question 2, round 3. Musical questions. What musical question can be answered this way? I do, in fact. Once you get to California on Interstate 80 from Reno, take Interstate 680 south. Continue on Interstate 280 north, then take the 11th Street exit toward 10th Street. So a musical question can be answered that way.
All right, I'm cool. California lady over there has probably got a good beat on this, too.
Indeed,
But
yeah.
I think we're locked in. You're free to talk, Susie.
Yeah, it's the freeway, how to get to San Jose. Those are the freeway numbers. Do you know the way to San Jose, Dionne Warwick?
I'm good with that.
I like it.
All right. It sounds like you guys are agreed. Carmela.
I wrote, do you know the way to San Jose?
Ooh, it rhymes.
Do, 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 do.
Do, 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 do.
That is the music question. Do you know the way to San Jose?
Good job. I like that.
Nicely done.
That's a great question.
There's the kind of slow pitch softball I needed. Thank you.
Slow pitch
Thank you
softball.
very
I
much.
wouldn't have gotten that in a million years. Really?
Round 3, question 3. Twitter stunts. Twitter realized that what brand was only following 11 accounts? Jerry Horner, Melanie Brown, Emma Bunton, Victoria Beckham, Melanie C., and 6 random guys named Herb.
I know this one.
I do too.
Yeah, okay.
Do you guys want to lock in so we can talk out loud?
I think Madeleine's taking the...
Oh, no. That's
Nope.
fine. Yeah, I got it.
I think I just figured it out. So you're locked in, Madeleine?
Yep.
Okay. So the people's names that he gave are mostly the Spice Girls and then herbs. 11 herbs and spices.
KFC.
You know what's crazy? I literally just changed my answer when I said it because at first I was going McCormick.
That's what I was thinking.
And then I did the math.
it went
It was like 11 herbs
Yeah.
and spices. That makes more sense for KFC.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so clever.
Yeah, so we're going to go with Kentucky Fried Chicken.
KFC.
I wrote down KFC.
It is 11 herbs and spices on Twitter, KFC.
That's
Nice.
hilarious.
That's really well done. That's really well done.
So punny.
If I can jump in here, I remember when this happened, and I remember the guy that figured it out. Said something to KFC. KFC's like, great, this was awesome. They sent him a custom painting of the guy riding on Colonel Sanders' back.
Oh my
Look it up. It's hysterical.
KFC and KFC needs to start doing Old Spice's social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Old
That'd be
Spice's
funny.
brand and what they do is similar to KFC on social media with that kind of stuff.
Whoever runs Wendy's Twitter.
Yeah, they're hot.
If you ever Google Wendy's clapbacks, it's just people reading their tweets, and they're so good.
All right, well, at the end of the third round, it's getting hot now. 80-60. Everybody got everything right that round. 80-60. Jonathan and Carmela have the lead.
All right. So for the midpoint category, Canada McMaple Bacon.
Oh, no.
Because I noticed that you guys have a weak spot, the 4 main guys there. You have a weak spot for the Great White North. So I thought it'd be amusing for me to ask something that any Canadian teenager would know and watch you guys squirm over it.
See, now I'm regretting giving him a Canadian warm it up Chris. I was using it to be nice. He's using it to punish.
You know what?
I know.
It's okay.
I really hope I can surprise him.
You can probably name the original 13 colonies. What 4 colonies founded Canada?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. I was really hoping you were about to ask us to name the territories, because I can do that.
And for any Canadian history nerds, I know that the colonies are different from the actual provinces, and I'll take either one.
All right, we're locked in.
I'm wondering if it's all this stuff on the east coast of Canada like it is for the U.S.
I would imagine that it is. That's what I was thinking.
But also, I was thinking about Ontario it's the center of stuff now, basically. So it might be one of them, too.
Right. I was thinking probably Ontario. Quebec, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. Because it's just so different culturally, but I don't know,
Yeah.
My problem is I actually know more of the western provinces than I do the eastern ones.
Yeah.
And so I got a big gaping hole right there.
Okay, so I have a list that's Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Prince Edward Island, but that's pretty small.
I wrote those. I wrote down Alberta as well.
Mm-hmm. Although didn't he say earlier that Newfoundland was a recent addition and was really, really different? Did I remember that earlier from I'm trying to remember
Maybe.
did he say that. I'm also looking at him to see if he's going to give anything away.
Yeah,
Paul is a consummate professional.
I think we can. Let's throw that one out.
Okay.
Prince Edward Island, I like. Ontario, Quebec.
I don't even know if this is a province. New Brunswick?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it is. I kind of like Nova Scotia. That's an answer.
Well, let's try to determine the ones that we know we like.
Okay.
Ontario, I would
I
think.
like Ontario, yeah.
There. Do we have any others that we think we're sure about?
I like Quebec just because why would they be part of the country if they weren't originally part of the country?
Nobody else likes Quebec either.
Aw, the French do.
And a quarter of our listeners just turned off the podcast.
Right.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I'm not afraid of insulting Quebec. They already boycott us because we're not in French.
I was born and raised in Quebec, but that's okay.
I mean, I'm
That's
sure it's a
okay.
lovely place, but honestly, I guarantee if we did have a listener there, they'd be complaining that we didn't do a French language version of the show.
You're not wrong.
I know.
You're not wrong.
I work with people in Quebec. I'm well aware of the social mores.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Jonathan.
Okay, so Ontario, I think Quebec is probably a good answer.
Okay. We need two more?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. We need to pick two more flavors from the punch bowl.
I don't know why, but I'm leaning towards Nova Scotia.
I don't know. New Brunswick is stuck in my head now.
Okay.
No.
Sure.
We can do New Brunswick. And are you okay with Nova Scotia?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, then let's do those two.
Okay.
Carmela, they went with what I wish I had gone with.
Yeah, we didn't think about New Brunswick.
Well, I knew there was another one over there, but I could not remember one. We weren't sure if we had to give up on the idea that it might be something other than current provinces.
Yeah, because I'm like,
it might be something new, but we just don't, or something old. We just don't know what they were.
no. That might have been the names of the sea, like Toronto.
I know the Ottawa colony. We don't know.
So we just stuck with provinces.
Yeah, we did the same ones except for one because we couldn't think of New Brunswick. So we said Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island.
Yeah.
So I have to confess, it was nowhere near as much fun watching you squirm as I expected it to be. But it got to be fun because the visiting team stumbled onto all four.
Oh,
It's
wow.
Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
No kidding.
There's actually a funny story about this.
Oh.
The original, well, nobody in Canada
way to
does either.
go.
If you ever get a Canadian, being all you Americans know nothing, ask them, say, what's the capital of New Brunswick? And they'll squirm, I promise you, because none of us remember it.
I'm going
I'm
to
not
try
even-
that on my
Is
in-laws.
it White Horse?
No, that's Yukon. It's Fredericton, I think. But there's actually,
Even Paul's not sure.
it's our drive-through province, is what we call it. There's actually a funny story about this, because the original idea was to get Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI together. And they had a meeting about it, and the delegates from Ontario and Quebec literally crashed it with cases of booze.
Oh.
The Nova Scotians and Brunswickers looked at each other, looked at Prince Edward Islanders, and said, you know what? We're going with those guys. And PEI awesome. Years later.
Poor Prince Edward Island.
I know, right?
So we got 3, and they got all 4.
Yep, at the end of the midpoint. Carmela and Jonathan have 95. Susie, Madeleine, and Trey have 80.
That was a huge jump for you guys.
Now, I do want to add, because someone Canadian is going to get huffy in the Facebook comments, is I do know the colonies were actually originally Lower Canada and Upper Canada.
Yeah, I thought
it was
about that.
any chance of you guys saying either of those. So I did accept Ontario.
Fair point.
None.
All right, that is the end of the first half of today's game. Before we go on to the second half, I want to tell you that today's show is sponsored by Blinkist. Blinkist is one of the coolest apps on my phone. Here's why. I'm a busy person. Ben, are you a busy person?
I am very busy.
Do you think it would be cool to kind of consume the content of a nonfiction book in 10 to 15 minutes?
Heck yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, right? 10 to 15 minutes. Everybody has that. I have that sitting at stoplights in my car. Easily on one trip.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So you may think you don't have time to read a book, but with Blinkist, you do. Blinkist is an app. You download it to your phone, and it gives you the key takeaways from nonfiction books. So thousands of books are on this app, and it just whittles them down. You can either read them in segments that they call blinks, or you can turn the audio on and listen to them kind of similarly to how you would listen to a podcast. And there's a lot out there. There's like 8 million people who are using Blinkist right now. It's fantastic. Ben, are there any nonfiction books that you'd like to read right about now?
Yeah, my wife actually got Michelle Obama's memoirs Becoming for her birthday, and I've been meaning to read that, but I can't get it away from her hands right now to read it. So.
Right, and I'm holding up my phone right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Boom, Michelle Obama,
right there.
Becoming, on the phone. I may not have time to read the whole book, but I can get the most out of it because Michelle Obama's Becoming is sitting here on my Blinkist app, and I'm just going to say read, and I'm going to scroll through, and there's going to be, how many pages is this? There are 12 pages.
Wow.
12 pages, the whole book summarized. It's fantastic. Today, I went to get a haircut, and Sebastian went with me. Sebastian, you got a haircut today?
Yeah.
Were you talking to the hairstylist while I was off in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you think I was doing?
Looking on your phone to see some pictures.
Oh, close. I was on Blinkist. I was reading a book called Real Artists Don't Starve by Jeff Goins. So literally, I'm sitting there for 20 minutes, and Sebastian's getting his haircut, and I read a book, and I finished it. I was done before he was. That's why I like Blinkist. It makes me smarter, faster. Right now, for a limited time, Blinkist has a special offer just for Trivial Warfare listeners. Go to Blinkist.com/TWA to start your free 7-day trial. That's Blinkist. It's spelled BLINKIST. Blinkist.com/TWA to start your free 7-day trial. That's Blinkist.com/TWA. Folks, you won't regret this one. Give it a try. Today's show is also sponsored by Keeps. Let's face it, folks, losing hair sucks. And 2 out of 3 guys will experience hair loss by the time they're 35. Introducing Keeps, the easiest and most affordable way to keep the hair that you have. These FDA-approved products used to cost so much, but now, thanks to Keeps, they're finally inexpensive and easy to get. For 5 minutes now, and starting at just $10 per month, you will never have to worry about hair loss again. So the Keeps process is super easy. Just go to Keeps.com/TWA. Signing up takes about 5 minutes. It's no big deal. You share a little bit of information about yourself. If you know what you're doing, you pick what it is that you're trying to get. If not, you let the doctor decide for you. You answer a few questions. You send them a couple of pictures of your hair, and the doctor will respond back within 24 hours with what he thinks you need. And at that point, you'll get the chance to sign up for it. And when you sign up, it's not like you're going to have to go to the pharmacy every time to do this. Every 3 months, you'll just get a shipment to your door. You guys know I love convenience. There's nothing better than getting home and having a package waiting for you. That's the thing that you need, so you don't have to go get it. I love that. And Keeps offers that for your prescriptions to maintain your beautiful head of hair. So Keeps offers generic version of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there. So you may have tried them already, but this is a really great price. Only $10 to $35 a month, depending on what you're getting and how much you're getting. And you can get your first month for free, which is a hell of a deal, guys. So to get your first month of treatment for free, go to Keeps.com/TWA. That is Keeps.com/TWA. That's a free month of treatment at Keeps.com/TWA. Keeps. Hair today, hair tomorrow. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.
Round 4, question 1 on candy.
Oh, so, okay, Carmela, you can relax on this one. I got it.
Ironically, what candy was introduced the same year the Titanic sank?
Ironically. Carmela, about that Me I Have It thing, I would just like to take that back. I apologize. All right, we're locked in.
You seem like you had an idea. I don't have
I had an
anything.
idea based on the mention of the word ironically. So I was thinking what would be ironic would be something, just like the unsinkable Titanic. So I was thinking the everlasting gobstopper, also called the jawbreaker. And it was what, 1912 or 1914?
It was 1912.
1912.
Yeah, that was actually my first thought when he said that.
Cool.
Something being everlasting is pretty ironic when you're talking about the Titanic.
I was thinking like saltwater taffy, but I don't like that either. Do we know when Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was written? Because that's where
Roald Dahl was much later than that.
I would think so too. So that's why I'm not like
that throws a monkey
all in
wrench
on
into
that
it.
one.
Well, darn, that sounded good.
Yeah.
We could just go back to saltwater taffy. I mean, it's got to be old enough. It may be too old.
It feels old to me, but yeah. I mean,
I would think that taffy would be much older.
Yeah,
like hundreds of years older.
Well, it is, but saltwater taffy specifically
is
American
invention.
It was invented in New Jersey, I think.
Well, it's sometimes good to go with the first instinct, and Trey and my first instinct were both the gobstopper, even if the timing might not work.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that okay? Well, I'll defer. It doesn't matter.
I'm deferring to Trey also.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Hey, Trey, this is the bus, the underside of the bus.
Thanks.
Have you seen the bottom of the bus
wheels look
before?
great.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's the transmission going over my head.
They do say the wheels on the bus go round and round.
Right over, Trey.
Yes.
I can't get past the date with the everlasting gobstopper. I just can't do it. I got it. If you're gonna defer to me, I'm gonna say saltwater taffy.
Okay.
All right, they're going saltwater taffy.
I love saltwater taffy.
Do you? I don't like it at all.
I do. I love it.
So you're right about the New Jersey thing. The not so believable story was that a taffy vendor got hit by a wave, like a rogue wave on the beach or something, and salt water got in all their stuff.
They were on the boardwalk.
Exactly. And they went ahead and sold it anyway, and everybody was like, oh, it's the best taffy ever. Certainly not how that happened, but
with the mucky water.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we knew I've been to Sweet Pete's before, up here in Jacksonville, which is a gourmet sweets shop.
I've never actually been there. I've walked
very
past
nice.
it, but I haven't been inside. It's over near Hemming Plaza.
We ran into Waco there.
Yeah, you went there with Waco.
That's right. And I did see a poster there, and that poster was the history of candy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made it a point to look at it. And I recalled that the candy bar craze started in like the early 30s, late 20s, the Snickers and the Mars kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew we weren't looking for candy bars. And so we started looking for kind of smaller candies.
Hard candies.
Hard candies, exactly.
And something that would be ironic in relation to the Titanic.
Exactly.
And we landed on Lifesavers.
Oh.
Nice.
It is. You were correct that I was hitting ironically hard. It is Lifesavers.
So when we figured it out, I cackled. I'm like,
it's like Lifesavers. Oh, yeah, of course it is.
I would have gone with that in a second if I thought of it.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, team.
Nope. Don't worry about it.
You'll get back on this one.
Oh, boy.
Round 4, question 2. You can't say goodbye if you're never going to leave.
Why do you think I have a bed here?
Sounds like my ex-husband.
Oh, whoa. Never mind about the bed.
In 2015, what band celebrated its 50th anniversary and the 34th anniversary of its farewell tour by announcing its 10th farewell tour?
That's amazing.
Now, as I'm reading this, I think they were a bit older than that. So I think there may be a bit of an error in there somewhere. Maybe 50th anniversary, depending on how you count. So I would say 51 years, arguably.
All right, we are probably getting this wrong. We've had a lot of discussion. We took way too long, and we're finally locked in with what we are assuredly
is wrong.
Not confident in.
I'm thinking about bands that have had longevity. So there's the Rolling Stones, but I'm not sure if they started earlier than that or not.
Yeah, that was my first thought, but pretty much my only thought.
10 farewell tours. Yeah, that was my first thought. Then I thought about the Eagles.
Yeah.
So they've had lots and lots of tours. Aerosmith might be too recent. Did they start more in the 70s than the 60s? Because they've certainly been touring for a long while. Then I thought about going a totally different direction. The Temptations and the Four Tops, even though the original members aren't still with them, they have still been touring all this time. So there's a lot of bands that have had excellent staying power and anniversary or farewell tours.
California Raisins.
Oh my God.
They're getting a little wrinkly.
The grapevine.
If you want to choose one or the other of those, I would be comfortable with it.
Trey, what were your instincts on it?
Well, I mean, my first thought was obviously the Rolling Stones, but I don't know if that's the right year for them to start. I feel like they may be even a little older than that. I think a couple of the band members are actually permanently preserved now and will never die.
No, yeah. Keith Richards takes shots of formaldehyde.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
There's not a living cell left in his body.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say the Stones was our red herring, that they're even older than that. So do you like Eagles?
The Eagles feels like a good. The time period feels kind of right. I mean, this is before my time too. So.
Oh, come on. I would have never guessed. I like Trey. I can tease Trey. He's got a good sense of humor.
I think I'd throw caution to the wind with the Eagles.
Okay.
I think I'm okay with that.
Break tonight.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay going with the Eagles.
Okay.
All right. So I do love greatest hits albums, and I was adamant about it not being the Rolling Stones in our conversation.
Right.
Because literally the Rolling Stones Hot Rocks double album was my favorite album as a teenager. I listened to that thousands of times. And the dates on that album say, in my mind, I remember them saying 1961 to 1969. So I was adamant that the dates could not be right for the Rolling Stones. We mentioned when we talked about the Eagles, you said they didn't like each other.
Yeah, by the end, they didn't like each other, so I didn't think that they would have done a bunch of touring.
Exactly. They has a big gap in their touring from the early 80s until all the way into the early 2000s, I think, or maybe mid-90s.
Mid-90s, probably.
So, and also, when I thought about it as they were talking, Eagles Greatest Hits Volume 1, the date on that, I believe, is 1963.
Okay.
Like 63 to 71 or something like that on that album cover.
Throughout the Who, but we weren't sure.
My feeling, and there is a date on this Greatest Hits album as well, and it might be 64, it's ringing a bell for me, is the Grateful Dead. And so after all that talking, we locked in the Grateful Dead.
Well, if any of you guys were from my generation, you'd have known it's the Who.
Darn it! I said the Who.
Darn it!
Rats.
I admit I did not know the Who was still touring.
You know what?
Well,
somebody's got to pay for Pete Townshend's guitars.
The two surviving members of the Who have just announced another farewell tour.
Oh, God.
I mean, how gullible are their fans?
Oh, I said the Who.
Well, yeah, but we said a lot.
I know.
You said the Rolling Stones more clearly.
Well, yeah, because I had because I'm like, I know they're still touring.
Moving on to our third question. Dead white men. So this one is going to be harder, but if you have the right knowledge, you'll probably figure this out.
Well, what writer? Those trivia questions?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Isn't
true.
Did you just you just give us a trivia question definition?
A good trivia question is a riddle that you provide the punchline to, by the way. What writer is buried with his wife and kids in Elmira, New York, under a memorial 2 fathoms tall?
Oh.
So what writer is buried with his wife and kids in Elmira, New York, under a memorial 2 fathoms tall?
Yeah, that's it.
We're locked in.
We're locked in.
You didn't hear what I said. I said, Jonathan, new sponsor there?
Yeah, no. So it's funny. I can't even help myself anymore.
No, I do the same thing.
She says, oh. I'm like,
O'Reilly.
Yeah.
That's where I got my last car battery from.
All right. We think we've got it. It is over to you.
I think I also have it. Do you guys have any ideas?
I mean, just from the fathoms, my first shot was Jules Verne.
I'm pretty sure that Mark Twain means like the depth of the water on a riverboat.
It does.
And it is I'm pretty sure it's 2 fathoms.
The only part I didn't know about is the Elmira, New York.
New York. That was a little weird, but...
That does, yeah, Mark Twain, Mark 2 fathoms. That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, 2 fathoms deep. I think that's it.
I'm not going to argue with that one at all.
Okay.
So does that mean you're locked in?
We're locked. Yeah, we're locked in.
All right.
So I did originally write Jules Verne because I was like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but I couldn't remember. I didn't have a grasp of what a fathom was. So he started writing down like 20 feet, 7 feet. And I was like, oh, it's Mark Twain.
Yep. I was trying to figure out what exactly a fathom was. I know I've heard it before. It's some number of feet that's not nearly as deep as I thought it was. And as soon as I did that...
And I was like, that's where he got his freaking name from.
Yep.
Because when he was working on riverboats. So yeah, we said Mark Twain.
Yep.
Buried in New York under a memorial 2 fathoms tall, that is Mark Twain.
Nice.
Nice job.
Good
Way
job.
to go, Madeleine.
Hooray.
All right. At the end of the 4th round, Trey, Susie, and Madeleine have 90. Carmela and Jonathan have 115.
Okay.
It's doable.
Trust me, you're in a lot better shape than other players have been in.
Yeah.
Round 5, question 1. Beautiful people.
Oh, it's a question about me.
Despite having risen to fame for a role in which she was supposed to be ugly, who was on People magazine's Most Beautiful People list for 2007?
2007. I think I have it, but I don't want to lock in.
All right, we're going to lock in.
Okay, so I kind of zoomed in on the word ugly, especially because my sister told me yesterday she was going to rewatch all of Ugly Betty, and that seems like the right year for, like, 2007 seems like around the time that Ugly Betty was on, so I think it's America Ferrera.
Yeah, Ugly Betty was what I thought as soon as he read the question. Not that only because he emphasized the word ugly, and I thought the time period felt pretty close.
Yeah, I remember watching it in high school, and that would have been the right time.
I've never seen an episode of it, but and I have no idea who plays her. So
That's fine with me.
Okay, then America Ferrera is our answer.
So we tossed around a few names. Jonathan had the idea that it might have been Idina Menzel because she played the Wicked Witch of the West. And I said, well, Wicked was a really big thing when I was in high school, so that would have been 2005 because we had our graduation song was a track from that soundtrack. But he did come up with Ugly Betty, which would be America Ferrera.
I agree with People magazine. America Ferrera is definitely one of the most beautiful people.
Nice.
Nice job, Madeleine.
good job, Madeleine.
Question 2 is about terrible artists.
Oh, another question about me.
What entrepreneur was such an awful artist that he had to hire one to redesign his own signature, which today is the logo of the company named for him?
Whoa.
I've got a good idea on this one, but I don't want to lock it in.
We're crying uncle and locking in with what is not a good answer. So you have a good chance to catch up on this one.
All right. Well, I'm 99% sure this is Walt Disney.
That's what...
I know for a fact he did not design his own signature and had to be taught to draw it. And from what I've heard, I've never seen one, but I've heard that an actual genuine Disney signature is actually very shaky and hesitant because he never really, even being shown, never actually learned how to draw it properly. And it's now the logo of the company.
Yep.
Terrific.
So, you like it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Locking in with Walt Disney.
It's interesting. I do collect things. And one of the things that I want to have something signed by Disney. It's funny that this comes up. It's not easy to find, honestly, to have something worthwhile actually signed by him. I'm not talking about like just a letter or whatever, something intentionally signed.
But they're definitely right.
I know they're right. And he was an artist. It was the art angle.
Yeah.
We had to argue. We didn't argue, but we were trying to get a grasp of it. And one of the things I asked was, is this actually going to be an artist who did this? Because it's making it sound kind of ironic like that in the question. But we couldn't think of an artist. We got into designers, and that was the closest we came to artists who we were trying to figure out. And we ended up going with Chase Bank because we know that we've seen the script of the Chase logo with Chase Ink. But no, Walt Disney is a super good answer.
Yeah.
It's a super good answer indeed. Walt Disney never did learn to draw his own signature properly. It is the logo of the company, and Trey has gained some ground on you guys.
Sure did.
Thank you, Trey.
Thank you, Trey.
Awesome.
So it turns out our next question is also about Jonathan. Collectors will buy anything.
We will. We absolutely will.
Well, not anything.
Meant as an April Fool's joke, Mattel eventually sold empty boxes purporting to contain what character's invisible plane.
We are locked in.
Doesn't Wonder Woman have an invisible plane? That's where I went with it. Okay.
Wonder Woman sounds smart to me.
I think I remember her having that, so
I'll go with it.
I guess, yeah, okay. Wonder Woman.
Carmela, before you give our answer, I've fantasized about living in a world with invisible cars. And the reason I have is I just think it would be so much fun to see people floating down the street with their butt towards the ground and their feet kind of bent like this,
You know it's an absolutely terrible idea, though.
Oh, it's a horrible idea. But
accidents everywhere, just people just all of a sudden doing this.
Think of the pictures of people just sitting on invisible things. Oh, the accidents would be terrible, though.
Yes, it would be awful.
Because you'd just be sitting there, and then all of a sudden somebody's leg would slice off or something, and it'd just be awful.
Well, that was graphic.
There's nothing that you wouldn't be able to block it with any metal. Yeah, that's a bad idea. Inventors, don't do this.
I don't really think you have to tell them that.
But if I was an artist, I would draw that. I would draw scenes of people floating down the road in their invisible cars where you couldn't see the cars. You could just see them and what they would look like if they were in a car.
Jonathan, think about what some people do when they're in their cars driving down the road. I really don't think you want to see that.
What in the world are you talking about?
Oh, nothing.
I don't live in that world. I don't know what he's talking about.
I think he means people illegally texting, which you should never do.
Yeah.
Those people.
That's what he's referring to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that.
Thanks, Susie.
All right, Carmela, what's our answer?
We said Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Empty boxes purporting to contain her invisible plane. That is Wonder Woman.
Ooh, excellent.
That sounds like something that Cards Against Humanity did.
Yeah.
All right, after the end of the fifth round, it is 135 to 120. Carmela and Jonathan maintain a lead.
All right, we move into round 6. All American food. This pasty spread is a fast, cheap way of getting protein and fat. It may be ubiquitous in North America, especially in the U.S., but it can be hard to get elsewhere. What is it?
Really?
We're locked in.
The first thing I thought of, a fast, cheap source of protein and fat that's a spread, my first thought was peanut butter.
Oh.
That's perfect. I know that people have peanut butter shipped overseas because they can't find it most of the time.
Really?
I think it may be a problem growing it in other places. I'm growing peanuts. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've heard of people doing that, though.
Good. That's much better than I was thinking protein, fat, and cheap. I was thinking Spam. But it's not really a spread, is it?
No, you can slice Spam.
Depends on how long it's aged.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Jonathan.
Barrel aged for 3 years.
But all American food, ubiquitous in the U.S., I think peanut butter makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll lock in with peanut butter.
My first instinct was peanut butter, and I think Jonathan's really surprised that you can't get it very easily.
I'm shocked. I eat a lot of peanut butter.
Yep.
I have peanut butter and jelly at least once, if not twice a week for dinner. It's just easy. It's fast. It's cheap. It's filling.
Yeah.
Well, you can get disgusting concoctions like Marmite and Vegemite and Nutella, but getting peanut butter outside of the U.S. is tricky. So the answer is peanut butter.
Oh, way to
awesome.
go, Trey.
Thank you.
They've had
Now,
many-
I would take issue with your assertion that
Nutella.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
come on,
Nutella is-
Marmite and Vegemite, you better believe it. But
Yeah.
Nutella, come on.
Hey,
Oh,
let's
yeah,
make ourselves some
Nutella is in
yeast
the pantheon
spread.
of perfect foods.
I can see the point. Question 2, vocabulary. What perfectly cromulent word was added to the Merriam-Webster dictionary in 2018, 22 years after it was first heard on TV?
Sadly, Paul, I get the question. I understand everything about it, and I just don't know what the first word is. It's heartbreaking for me right now.
Fine. Then write that word.
Fine.
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 We're locked in.
Any ideas?
Not really.
So to clarify, so Paul's looking for a word that is now popular as of last year, like a word that's in common use,
Or
like
at
on one
least
of those.
Is common enough to be in the dictionary.
1996.
It could have been being used since then, just not in the dictionary.
This is something that's, suddenly popular, like how I'm thinking about my middle schoolers, like the word dab is all of a sudden back. It meant something else before, but something like that where it's in the vernacular now.
1996.
Yeah.
So this should be right up my high school pop culture alley, except I didn't care about pop culture in high school either, so it's not helping.
And do we know the definition of cromulent?
Unfortunately, no, and it pains me.
Yeah,
say that.
same.
That's probably exactly what we need to know. And
Yep, I'm sure it is. What kind of show would have been inventing words in 1996?
I'm wondering if it's like a Nickelodeon show or something.
Yeah, or The Simpsons invented a lot of pop culture themselves, but I don't watch The Simpsons, so.
The other day we were talking about Festivus, which is a made-up word from the Seinfeld show.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I don't know why that would have just shown up last year.
I don't have a better answer than that. I am not embarrassed to go with Festivus.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
It's not the worst answer I've given on this podcast.
Okay.
Okay, that's our best bad answer.
He's not wrong about that part.
About that one. I'm sure
it's
I'm
also
wrong
not
about
the
the word.
funniest.
That's true.
Okay, so
Yeah, you're on your own, dude.
yeah, we didn't get it right. Well, I'm going to see if I can argue for it. So this is a Simpsons joke, okay? And the gag is somebody says a word, and a person in charge, and somebody questions that word, and the person in charge says, "I don't know why you're questioning that. It's a perfectly cromulent word." And the joke is that cromulent is a made-up word as well. And so cromulent has come to mean acceptable because it was made up on the spot in the show. I could not remember
By the way,
what.
Madeline, have you just figured this out?
No, but I
you look
remember
like you
this
have.
happened. Yeah.
So I couldn't remember for the life of me what the word is that was used first, but we decided to lock in with the word cromulent in case they were both added to the dictionary in the same year, because technically cromulent would be a perfectly cromulent word and could fit the question if it was added in that year. So we locked in with cromulent.
So in the episode Lisa the Iconoclast, we learned the town motto is, "A noble spirit embiggens the smallest man."
God, embiggens.
The answer is
I remember
embiggens.
that now.
Now,
Yep.
out of curiosity, Paul, was cromulent added to the dictionary?
Not as far as I know.
All right.
But
Well,
the
it was
funny
worth
thing
a
about
try.
embiggens is it actually is a fairly old English word that we just don't use anymore.
Mhm.
So it turns out that embiggens is indeed a perfectly prominent word.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, we both got our 0 for that one.
Okay.
But that was the GI. You were never going to get it from what the meaning of cromulent was, because cromulent didn't have a meaning until it was given a meaning by that show. It was a joke.
But
Yeah.
it did sound familiar, and that is
And I'm at least proud of myself for saying that The Simpsons did tend to invent a lot of pop culture.
Yes,
You
yes.
were-
So
you were
Yeah.
correct.
And I can say that time it was fun to watch you squirm.
thanks a lot.
Yeah.
All right, last question of the 6th round.
The last question is movie death.
Ooh.
This might be my favorite one of the whole bunch, actually. In 2017, John Hurt died in January, and Harry Dean Stanton died in September. They are the first two of the main cast of a movie to die, and coincidentally, they also died in that order in the movie. Name the movie.
Yeah, we're locked in.
I think it is Alien.
I never actually saw Alien. I saw Aliens. And was it not Aliens that John Hurt died in from the chest burster? Or was it the original?
I think it's the original.
Is it the original?
Now I'm questioning myself. I think it's the original.
I think you're right. Susie, any ideas here?
I have become more decorative than functional in this whole round. I've got nothing.
You know what? I don't know if I've actually ever seen all of Alien. It's also on my list, but I thought John Hurt was in it. I remembered reading about him being an alien when he died. So that's where my brain is going.
I'd say go with Alien then.
Okay. Locking it in.
Quick question. Was Bill Paxton an alien or aliens?
Aliens.
Oh, okay.
Game over, man. Game over.
As I couldn't remember if he passed away in 2016 or 2017. But we also went with Alien.
It is indeed Alien. And based on that order, you need to be really scared if you're Tom Skerritt right now, because he's next.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
You mentioned the chestbuster scene. Part of as the story goes, none of the cast knew that was going to happen.
Yes.
So when they freaked out, that was a legitimate reaction.
That's incredible. That's incredible. All right. Well, at the end of the 6th round, the scores going into the gauntlet: 155 for Carmela and Jonathan, 140 for Madeleine, Susie, and Trey. 155 to 140. And Paul, our gauntlet category will be what?
Quasi-connected quartet. And the way this is going to work is there are 4 questions. The first one is stupid hard, but they get easier as we go. So there is all 4 answers have a hidden connection among them. So there is a chance, if you figure out enough of these, you might realize the connection and then be able to get them all.
And you have to get all 4 right in order to get your wagered points.
Yeah.
So you'll ask all 3 up front, and all 4 up front, and that'll give them time to think and give us time to work out our answers, and then they'll be able to work out their answers out loud. And that's the only way to do it and be fair to both teams, to give them a chance to work out the connections.
Yeah.
All right, our wager is locked in.
Our wager is locked in.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So A, this name was extremely rare until the 1870s when Marietta Hawley wrote a series of books about the adventures of Josiah Allen's wife, who had this name. B, this moon of Uranus is named for the only female character in The Tempest.
Okay.
C, this was the title of the first published book written by Stephen King.
Okay.
And D, this seat of Mecklenburg County is also the most populous city in North Carolina.
Does anybody need him to repeat?
Not at this point.
No?
I think we're okay.
Okay, well then we are going to start talking amongst ourselves. Carmela has exceedingly high amounts of thunder, and we are locked in.
Thunder, lightning, all kinds of weather.
Very, very frightening me.
Like his eyes got like super big. I'm like, no, this is the answer.
I'm like, is it possible? No. Don't question me, mortal.
Yeah, I got really excited on the second question because I think I got the theme like right away as you started the question.
Are they locked in yet, or are they still?
Yes,
No, we're locked in.
We're locked in.
Okay. So for number 2, what was the beginning of that question? Can you read it
Moon
again?
of Uranus.
The movie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like the best, well, maybe not the best known moon would be Miranda. So then I expanded out from there to the names of the characters from Sex and the City. So number 1, I think, is Samantha. Number 3 is Carrie. And number 4 is Charlotte.
I've never watched Sex and the City. So are those 4 character names from that show?
Yeah, there are 4 main characters, and then those are their names.
Yep.
Miranda,
Miranda's right.
I think you're right. I think Stephen King's first published book was Carrie. I know
Carrie's
he wrote it.
right.
And then Charlotte, North Carolina, makes sense.
North Carolina makes total sense.
That's where the big airport is.
Check. Good job, Madeleine.
Samantha, Miranda, Carrie, and Charlotte. Right?
Yep.
Yes.
Carmela, what did we do?
When we got to the second question, Uranus's moons are all named after English literature because it was discovered by an English person. So there are 2 female names in The Tempest. There's Ariel and there's Miranda. Ariel is actually not really a gendered person. It appears both as male and female. So Miranda is definitely the only female in The Tempest. So that's the angle I went with.
Which is crazy that you didn't go the space angle because you just know space stuff.
But I know Shakespeare pretty
Amazing.
well, too. But I originally wrote down Christine because that was what
I did too.
And then, but I was like, there's not a Christine in Sex and the City. But I just went to the next one. And I'm like, Charlotte, North Carolina. So this has got to be Sex and the City characters. Went back, crossed off Christine, wrote Carrie, and went back to the first one and put Samantha. So we said Samantha, Miranda, Carrie, and Charlotte.
So we had the same set of answers that you did.
Full house for both teams. Congratulations.
All right. So they are both correct, my friend?
They are indeed.
Then it's going to come down to wagers. Madeleine, Trey, and Susie, what did you wager on your correct answer?
We wagered 17 points.
So that is 140 plus 17, which means you're going to finish with 157 points, which is 2 points greater than we started with.
Yes. Which is actually not a bad bet.
It's a great bet.
Yeah.
It's an awesome bet. Carmela, we had discussions about different types of wagers.
We did. We thought about betting 14, which means we can get it wrong and still be ahead of you.
0 obviously comes up.
Yeah, but we felt that we didn't have that strong of a lead to bet 0. And the Jonathan's like, what if we lock him out?
So I do believe in the strategy based on how hard the questions have been in the game. And regardless of what Paul said about how hard the first question would be, the fact that we have 150 out of 200 possible points in the game tells me that we're more likely to get them right than wrong. And as a result, we decided to bet as much as we needed to prevent you from winning if we got it right. So we wagered 126 points.
Oh.
So our final score is 281 to 157.
Yep.
Good job, Carmela. Carmela was on that question.
Good job, Carmela,
Good job.
Jonathan.
By the way, Trey, that is actually a very logical bet that you made. So
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's nothing. If you're going to bet enough to lock us out, there was nothing I could have done.
Yeah.
Nothing
that's
you
right.
could have done.
we had to get it right. Like we had to.
I do love it. I do love people who are like, there's no reason they would bet so much. Oh, yeah?
Because even I was like, really?
You never know. Wagering is important to me. I have to make sure that I keep it fresh.
I
because-
really liked that final. That was cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
That's
I hope
neat.
you guys like the questions generally, actually.
Oh, yeah,
Man, I thought
definitely.
this game was
Very nice.
fantastic. It was really well done.
Thanks.
All right,
Yeah.
so let's. It's time for us to wrap up. So before we go, I do like to give everybody a chance to promote a cause or say hello to people that they care about. So, Paul, actually, we'll finish with you, Paul. Trey, we'll start with you.
Well, these days having a kid at home, I don't really do anything at all anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would just like to give a shout out to my wife, Amy, who is the actual corporal in the Army and who got me onto this.
Colonel.
And is gracious. Colonel. Oh, I'm sorry, not corporal. Colonel.
Yes.
Colonel Amy.
Thank you. And she has graciously allowed me to take her spot twice now, and I very much appreciate it. So shout out to Amy and to my son, Robbie, in case one day he hears this.
Yeah. Hi, Robbie.
I sure hope he does. That'll be amazing. All right, Susie, your turn.
Thank you. Thanks so much again for having us on. Thank you to Trey and Madeleine. We were a fun team. I really enjoyed
You guys were
playing with
together.
you and making some new friends. And thank you to Paul for the questions. I enjoyed it. I want to give a shout out to my husband, John Becker. When he started listening, a lot of it was because I came up with this idea to sponsor Trivial Warfare every month through Patreon. And for those of you that have someone in your life who's really hard to buy gifts for, why not give some money every month to Trivial Warfare? It's something I've been very happy to do.
Good gift.
Another quick shout out. John is on the board for a really nice charity called Restoring Vision, where they give reading glasses to people who need them in third world countries. And
awesome.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
great.
great charity. We're going to go to Mexico in a couple months and give out eyeglasses. Last shout out, my daughter Ella is in college and she enjoys listening to Trivial Warfare, and she's also active on the Facebook group. I see her with the thumbs up and the hearts on lots of the Facebook posts. So good for her for not always walking around and carrying her books. She takes some time to relax and listen to your pod.
Yeah.
So hi
that's
to
great.
Ella. Yeah, I love her a lot.
Hopefully she learns things from us that help her in
To
school.
help her in school.
Yeah, like saying geography to her.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure the professors appreciate that one.
Literature.
Yes.
One of the questions I cut would have been pornography. I got
That's
scared the last second. So
Fabulous. All right, Madeleine, your turn.
I think I'd just like to give a shout out to my husband, who's been sitting in the next room patiently. His name is Joe.
Hey, Joe.
And thank him for my knowledge of Canada, because that really helped us in the the midpoint. I don't know what else. I don't really have any causes I support at the moment. Thank you guys for having me on, and thank you to Susie and Trey. And thank you, Paul. Those were really great questions.
thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you. And Paul, we will wrap it up with you.
Well, as a lieutenant colonel in the Trivia Warfare Army, I want to echo what others have said about the importance of joining. Obviously, I want everyone to go to triviahalloffame.com and vote for your favorites, whomever they may happen to be. And I'm hoping to see a lot of you in Vegas at Trivia Nationals when we're going to be announcing the results of this. There's going to be a live Trivia Warfare thing going on, too, I
Yes,
think.
we will all be there.
Absolutely.
It'll be the first time that all four of us will be abroad together.
I didn't know I had to dress like a woman.
You know what happens in Vegas, Jonathan.
Well, I'm not opposed to it.
I could put you in drag.
No, it wouldn't be hard. I'm moo-moo. I was made for moo-moos.
I could definitely put you in drag.
I could put me in drag. Are you kidding?
But I'd actually make you look halfway decent.
Oh. I'm not arguing. We derailed his thing.
We did.
We're sorry, Paul.
Oh, no, I was done. I'm done. I'm good.
Well, then I'm going to reiterate to go out to triviahalloffame.com. It's spelled just the way it sounds, triviahalloffame.com. And if you love this show, why don't you help us out, support the show by voting for Chris Hollister, Jonathan Oakes, Carmela Smith, and Ben Young for the Trivia Hall of Fame. That would be an amazing honor.
Yes, it would be.
All right, and that is going to wrap us up. So for Madeleine, for Susie, for Trey, for Paul, and for Carmela, I'm Jonathan, and this has been another episode of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Trivial Warfare. To learn more about the show and become a warhead yourself, visit trivialwarfare.com. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes or in any other good podcast app. And find us on Facebook or Twitter by searching Trivial Warfare. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. If you need help with your podcast, find it at propodcastingservices.com.
Hey.
Trey, are you on the ground? Is there a floor underneath you? What is going on
That's
there?
called wood paneling, sir.
Oh, that's a wall.
Yeah.
That's a wall. Carmela's got it.
Trey takes his politics serious. He built a wall.
This is not a very good wall.
Bird.
You've never seen wood paneling on a wall?
No, of course I have. Of course I have.
Dens across America in the 70s had wood paneling.
You want me to read some category names for the first three so you can edit them in, or?
No, that's okay. That's all right. Well, actually, you know what, Joel, earn your money here. Come on. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and say. Go ahead and say the
right.
categories for the first three. It's the cutest thing. Paul's cat is in his lap, and she's deciding now is the point where she wants to like reach up and play with his ears. It is so cute. Oh my gosh.
Are you on SoundCloud? Was their follow-up question.
No, I don't use SoundCloud because SoundCloud is an unstable platform. They are constantly being bought and sold, and nobody has found out how to make money off of them. So it's not a place that I desire to be.
It was a polite no about SoundCloud.
My impression of SoundCloud, it's your friend's kid who thinks he's an EDM DJ. That's my impression of SoundCloud.
Yeah,
that's not fair. Wrong.
It's fair.
Year makes a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We went with the very spooky duo of John Lennon and Vladimir Lenin.
Did they haul Lenin away from the Kremlin to take him to KTSA in San Antonio?
Yeah, he's desperate to go.
He wanted to spread his message to the American audience.
I'm pretty sure Lenin died in 1920, and the other Lenin was born.
You
in
didn't give us a year.
That's why it's spooky.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, no, they totally could have. They totally could have met. I meant they actually hauled Lenin's preserved body out of the Kremlin and took it to San Antonio
for the speaking engagement.
So Candy, that's been around. Oh, Trey's back. Hello.
Hey, Trey.
Sorry about that. My computer just blue screened and crashed.
Oh.
It's not good.
No, but it came back up, which is great.
It came back up.
Gave
Did you hear the question?
This is still better than the last one I was on, where we had Will recording from a parking lot and then from a McDonald's.
Yes,
so
I do recall.
I'm still doing better than that.
That was the craziest recording.
We also have had Jeffrey Siguratan record from his phone in his car.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's what Will was doing until I think did his phone run out or something, and then he actually had to go into the McDonald's and record the rest of it from in there. Anyway, no, I did not hear the question. I'm sorry.
The funny thing, so something I've observed in teamwork over the years now, in my own and in other people, is that we get caught trying to figure out why we know something that we've said is probably not right, and we spend our time trying to figure out the reasons it's not right.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is that we get stuck in that, and so it's a matter of needing to brainstorm the other options and figure out other options. But it's impossible. I've seen every team do it. I know I do it, where it's like, let me tear apart the thing in front of me instead of brainstorming the new. It's a hard thing to do.